Well, I predict an overall increase in self-storage demand because of the COVID-19 pandemic we find ourselves in. Hello, my name is Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Quick Start Academy. And if you're seeing this episode before May 15th, there is a virtual online boot camp training I'm going to be running May 15th and 16th. There'll be more information in the link below. And if you ever wanted to get in the storage business, now is the time to consider it. This training is for you. And I know that was quite a statement I said, but I want to make a bet with you. And my bet is that coronavirus is actually going to increase demand for our product of self-storage. Now, it's too early to tell, but my bet is all of the people at home will start working on their homes, reorganizing their homes. I know we have at our house, and it's not me driving that, but what's going to happen is, because of the amount of time we're spending in our homes, self-storage demand is going to increase. My bet is in markets where the median income might be a little higher than average for that area, you're going to start seeing very soon increased demand for self-storage, because the amount of time people are spending at home, they're going to reorganize their living quarters and are going to need a place to put all of their stuff as they rearrange their living quarters because of how much time we have been forced to spend at home. We're already beginning to see that in the UK. In the UK, according to Google Trends report, Storage World, one of the self-storage companies there, reported on their website an increase of phone calls into their facilities of 35% and a 20% increase in the number of customers that were specifically asking about pricing for self-storage units. Now, the company attributed most of that to people needing to reorganize their homes to work out of and needed a place to move stuff so they could create their home offices. Now, I bet in the U.S. we're going to start seeing that phenomena here, particularly in the submarkets where the median income might be a little higher. And it's too early to tell the long-term effects of the stay-at-home order that we have in most states, how that's going to affect the recovery of the economy once the stay-at-home order's been lifted. But my bet is that there will be a lot of people who will continue to work out of their homes once the stay-at-home order has been lifted. My bet is, for many people, what it looks like to, quote, go to work is going to look vastly different from now on into the foreseeable future. And whenever there's a transition in people's lives, transitions are what create demand for the self-storage product. Now, this is just speculation at this moment in time, but as a business owner, that's what our job is. Our job is to look at what's currently going on and predict into the future how that's going to impact our industry. And as someone getting in the self-storage business or someone in the self-storage business, this is what our job is to do, and to anticipate what the demand's going to be and how we're going to be running our business differently in the future. Now, remember, in the last economic downturn, storage did very well. We had 8 to 10% of people in the last economic downturn had ever used self-storage, and that number started going up. Now imagine if that percentage of people, let's say, went to 12% of the U.S. population using self-storage from 10%. That would mean just in the U.S. alone, 6.5 million more people will be using self-storage than have ever used it before. And that's just a 2% increase in the U.S. population at this time. That is a lot more demand. I've said it before, but in my opinion, the next decade looks very bright for our industry. And what drives demand for self-storage is, to a large degree, transitions in people's lives. And believe me, nothing has caused more of a transition in people's lives in the past year than this coronavirus and all that's happened since the pandemic started that I've ever seen in my life. If that isn't transition, I don't know what is. And my experience is transitions create demand for our product. My bet is people who have never used self-storage are going to start using it as a result of this pandemic. Now is the time, in my opinion, to consider getting in the self-storage business. Now, we'll see if my predictions are true, but I'm betting it is. So in my opinion, there's never been a better time to get in the self-storage business than right now. Well, maybe not. Maybe 10 years ago was a better time to get into self-storage. But if you didn't get in then, now is the best time. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities coming up. Sellers' pricing's getting more realistic. In my humble opinion, now's the time. That's one of the reasons I'm holding the virtual boot camp May 15th and May 16th. Again, click below for more information. But if you ever thought about getting in the self-storage business and wanted all the spaces covered, from designing your self-storage strategy to putting your facility into service, then this training's for you. It's at an extremely discounted price, 50% of what we usually charge. My goal is to make this accessible to everybody. Now, I'm going to limit the number of people simply because I only want one person who's focused on a given part of the country, so we're not creating competition inside the training group. So if your market area is the West Coast, for example, you're going to be the only person from the West Coast in that training. But whether you're in the training or not, my prediction is COVID-19 is going to increase demand for our product of self-storage. Thank you very much. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. That's the financial analysis tool we use to map out how a particular property is going to function economically, and it informs us what we can pay for those opportunities. I invite you to take a look at it, storageworldanalyzer.com. Thank you very much, and remember my prediction.